Hey guys, welcome back to the Wilson Brothers channel. I'm Isaac, this is David. We are so excited to be with you guys today, reacting to Sadia Khan being interviewed by Chris Williamson on the aspects of dating, psychology, and what does it look like for modern women to date maybe old-fashioned men. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content as well.
The title of the video is Why is Modern Dating Such a Mess? So this is gonna blow my mind. Hopefully it blows yours. Let's go.
Talk to me about the problem with nice guys, then, talking about simps.
Essentially, what nice guys do is what they suffer with is not that they're too nice or anything. It's just that they have incredibly weak boundaries when it comes to women. They simply are not just women. It could be anybody. What they do is they lack a lot of masculinity. And what they do is they blame the fact that they're so nice as to why they can't get women. But it's not about being nice. It's about a lack of masculinity. And one of the best ways to establish masculinity is placing boundaries, particularly with women. When you don't like a behavior, you don't roll over and allow it to continue and then give her more in order for you to get her. You set a boundary and you have a willingness to walk away. Nice guys, what happens is they don't like to exert their boundaries and they don't have a willingness to walk away. So what ends up happening is their nice nature becomes a reason for resentment because women don't like it. They actually feel angry when you're too nice to them because then they don't feel protected.
So why do you think so many men are soft when it comes to setting boundaries?
Because they want to not feel like becoming too strong.
They're overcompensating?
They're overcompensating and coming on too strong. That's what they don't want. What she's saying is that nice guys are not good at setting boundaries because they want to not be considered too dominative. They don't want to appear as being someone that's in this society taking the rights away from the woman or doing things that's going to make her feel like he's not nice, like he's
but
too
the women don't feel protected in those scenarios because men feel like, oh, you know the saying that goes, nice men never win, right? Good guys never win. And unfortunately, it is permeated throughout all of social media, and it's given a bad rap when the definition of a good guy is not that he's not willing to put up boundaries. Mm-hmm. A nice guy is saying that I'm not willing to put up with all of the baggage that you bring to the table without confronting and addressing it. Like, I don't want to be somebody that pushes down.
Someone that goes with the flow.
Yeah, it's very haphazard because men and women are different. You cannot expect a man to set boundaries the same way a woman would, right?
Yeah.
That would be tangential to the overall hierarchy of what it is.
She's talking about a very specific version of nice guys. The guys that don't show that they are masculine, they're not direct.
It sounds like pushover.
Yeah, a pushover, because when I got married, my wife would have considered me a nice guy. I wasn't the typical bad boy. I was a nice guy, but I knew what I wanted, and I pursued her, and I didn't settle for less. So we're not saying you have to be a dominating, like, oh, in your face, like super extrovert, blah, blah, blah. You can be a nice guy, but you need to be direct. You need to go after things. Assert yourself. So that's what she's talking about.
You feel like you're weak. If you let a woman make all the decisions for you, she'll slowly start to hate you because she'll feel like she has to raise you and she'll lose respect for you. So you're better. What we truly want is not a man that just is like chaotic. We just want a man who we can trust makes good decisions. He's not the nice guy. He's the one that we'll submit to. But the one that doesn't trust his own decision making and we have to do it and he comes across as being nice, essentially he's seen as weak.
It comes down to decision making. That nailed it on the head. What she said.
But I disagree with what she said on being nice because that doesn't sound nice to me. That sounds like a pushover.
Well, someone that doesn't make decisions.
Yeah,
that is
that's
always
not
like,
nice.
so what do you want?
That's not nice though. That, like, she keeps going back to this. It's a nice guy, but being dishonest and disingenuous is not nice.
I feel like it's the wrong term. Nice guy isn't. I think it's more of a soft guy.
Yeah, because that's not being nice. Being disingenuous and not being real is not being nice.
Yeah, you can be a nice guy, but still do everything she's saying. Like,
exactly.
Be disciplined, go after it, make decisions because she'll feel safe in that. She's referring to a guy that is allowing life to hit him without hitting back.
Yeah.
And someone that isn't making decisions and standing strong on what his principles are.
Because if a woman has to raise a man, she becomes his mom.
I loved what she said there. If you're not direct, if you're not making decisions and going after things like that, then she feels like she has to raise a kid. Women don't want to raise a kid. That's very important.
No, they want to be with their man.
how do you, as a man, make sure that you're nice and not weak? Like, it must be difficult because in this day and age, if you try and be like a bit more assertive, I'm guessing it gets a lot of pushback. It's hard for a man. I
don't know. I think you'd be surprised. I think that the line of acceptable behavior is way wider than most people think, right? You know, you can be assertive in a powerful, reassuring way without being a tyrant. Right. It's pretty easy to achieve, right? I don't think that it's that hard, but I also understand that a lot of people don't have a massive amount of first-hand experience. Yeah. They're spending all of their time learning about things through the internet. They don't actually have you need to be skillful and nimble, right? To be able flirting and dealing with even the same sex, let alone the opposite sex, is like a delicate balance, right? It's a bit of a dance. It's a bit of teasing. Is it too far? Is it too much? Like, you know, it requires experience, and most people don't have the opportunity to develop that.
And it's really easy to have the willingness to walk away when you're somebody that has a lot of alternatives, and it doesn't just mean other women. It could be a lifestyle that is alternative to being settled down. But when you're somebody that doesn't have many alternatives, the willingness to walk away decreases. So I do understand it's very difficult for men to have that. But without the willingness to walk away, she'll look for a man that does have the willingness to walk away. She'll look for a man that does have boundaries, because we need them as women.
It's one thing to have the willingness to walk away, and it's different to be somebody that's flaky and leaves at the first sign of trouble. There's a difference. And so what do you think the difference of that is?
Yeah, so the difference between being willing to walk away versus willing to stay is really about character. If you have the character as a man to say, I'm putting up boundaries, I'm a good man, I have an idea, or at least some semblance of an identity, I know who I am and I know what I bring to the table, that I'm not willing to settle for anything less than that, that makes it a lot easier to walk away. But a lot of single guys don't know who they are. They have no idea what actually they can bring to the table to be a protector, provider, and a strong figure in a woman's life. Not as a tyrant, as Chris was saying, but as someone that can be that partner that you're looking for. Men aren't taught that. They're not taught that in grade school, middle school, high school. And so they have to learn.
You can't really teach it, though.
Well, it's tried to be taught in school, but unfortunately it's gone really bad because school systems are not designed to teach men how to be men.
Of course.
So experience, as Chris was saying, is the best teacher. So as a single person, the problem is a lot of single men have gone into experience in the wrong way. They've gotten experience in the dating, hookup, bar culture, instead of what is the quality of the experience that you're getting, not just the experience. Because you can get experience in life. Life is an experience, right? But the level and the quality of that experience is just as important as the moments where you're feeling as if, oh, well, you know, should I walk away or shouldn't I? You should be able to know that question immediately.
Well, because if you're dating, there is a difference between, as I previously said, being flaky and running at the first sight of trouble, as opposed to being somebody that sticks in there, but also knowing that you know who you are. I think she's referring to men that if they know who they are, they have the ability to walk away because they're not being handicapped by a woman that doesn't value them appropriately. Because again, there's so many nuances, because I feel like women also need to have the ability to walk away.
But what also helps you to develop more options? Because she mentioned, what if the guy doesn't have options?
Exactly.
The options come as a result of inner strength and character.
Knowing your worth.
Yeah. So if you don't know your worth, then you will relegate yourself to a relationship that's not healthy for you, and you will stay in that because you feel like you're not enough to leave and go to find something better.
And one of my friends tweeted this earlier on. It's amazing. He says, there's lots of discussion at the sexual revolution debate about whether the revolution failed men or failed women, or helped men more than women, or helped women more than men. Nobody asked whether the sexual revolution failed children. People already know it's too depressing of a topic.
Yeah, absolutely accurate. It basically failed both genders, but when you fail both genders, you fail children, because they're the remnants of two broken people. So I think it's massively failed children, but I think in some ways it's definitely favored the man that has no desire to invest and have responsibility. That's the only man that favors from this, is he gets a bunch of women to have low enough self-esteem that they will be able to allow him access without any investment. Meanwhile, while he can then go on to meet the girl he actually wants to be with, whilst this girl is happy to come at 4 a.m. after a night out. So it's the opposite of feminism. It's allowing men free reign over females, and whilst investing very, very little. I don't know who tricked women into thinking that this is beneficial, but whoever did is probably a man.
One of the biggest lies in today's culture is that men don't have to take responsibility.
Radical ownership.
Radical ownership. That
Jocko Willing, by the way, the book Radical Ownership is in the comments below.
Yeah, that you can go along life, be with as many women as you want. There's no responsibility.
There's no repercussions.
There's no repercussion because now our society says you can do whatever you want in that way and just have fun because you're in your 20s, right? Even Justin Waller says that, he spent so much time in his 20s trying to fix himself, which is great. But now that he's in his 30s, he can do whatever he wants. He can be with as many women as he wants. And that's one of the biggest lies, is that men don't have to take responsibility anymore. That you don't have to bring anything to the table outside of just convincing a woman to be with you for a short period of time.
I do want to talk about this because they're talking about the sexual revolution. So back in the 1940s and 50s, the nuclear family structure was the divorce rate was about 10 to 15%. In America, the overall divorce rate is above 50%. It's even worse in the church, right? So when you break down the structure of the nuclear family, what does that create? Degeneracy and sexual promiscuity. And those two elements were a result of the sexual revolution in the 70s and the 80s. You cannot unlink divorce rates, breaking down of the nuclear family away from sexual promiscuity of the sexual revolution. And that's what she's talking about. Men inherently will go after the best option. But if they don't know who they are as a man, they will go after the best looking option instead of the best woman.
The easiest option.
Easiest option. Dating, hookup culture. Being sexually promiscuous is not the inherent design behind why a man should be a man.
Do you think that hot girls are more crazy?
Always. Do you think hot girls are more crazy in your experience?
I've been around quite a few hot girls, but some of them can be very balanced. But give me your treatise on hot girls being crazy.
Here's what it is with very attractive women. They don't get an insight into the average man and how average men behave. They get an insight into men that are incredibly intimidated by their beauty or incredibly lustful after their beauty. So they see men either kind of ignore them, so the quiet good guys either just kind of intimidated by them, but the loud, gregarious, kind of adulterous men are after them. So they'll see guys that will leave their wives to be with you. They'll see guys that will drop everything to kind of, even if their girlfriend's in the same room, they'll quickly stick you their number. They'll see guys that will risk their jobs, if they're your boss, to be with you. So they see men as these huge risk takers that will do anything to have sex with you. So what ends up happening is she loses her naivety about a man. She no longer thinks men are faithful. She's seen so many men break up whatever they have just to be with you and just to access you. She's seen so many men who break their back just to touch you. So what happens is when her husband now says to her, there's a new colleague at work, her brain is like, well, every colleague at my work has always hit on me. Are you hitting on this girl? Or if her husband says, I'm just going to the gym, she's like, well, whenever I go to the gym, somebody hits on me. What are you doing? So they end up being suspicious because they are privy to men at their worst when they're sexually attracted to a woman. They don't have that naivety that a more plain woman would have, where she could walk past a guy in a bikini and he doesn't harass her. She knows if she walks past a guy in a bikini, it drops everything. So she sees men as more dangerous than they are, and therefore she thinks her partner is more sexual than he might be, and as a result she tends to be more intense and crazy and less naive, but not necessarily more accusatory, I would say.
This has opened my eyes. I now understand why women that are more attractive tend to be more jealous. And it's because their entire life, whenever they go outside or they go to the gym or the pool or whatever, they have guys just gawking at them and hitting on them nonstop. So now they naturally think, it can even be at a subconscious level, well, my partner now, this guy is attractive, so he must be getting hit on by women the same way that I'm getting hit on by guys. It makes so much sense now.
So they're taking that jealousy and then placing it on their partner and saying, well, he must be the same as all the other men.
First talked about weak men or nice guys, how they tend to be weaker men, and women want to go to the bad boys instead, because a lot of men don't know what they want and they don't set boundaries. They don't go after things. They're not putting, she even wants to in some level be put in her place, in that aspect. But this was a fascinating interview because the whole video is titled, "Why is Modern Dating Such a Mess?" And so now she's explaining that, especially in our day and age, dating is very complicated. I am so glad I got married before this dating age. I feel for you. So if there's some women out there, he's single. So that's all I got to say.
This is what I'll say. Women that are out there that are watching this, there's hope. Obviously, there are a lot of men that will objectify you and will lust after you because you're attractive. Don't let that skew your vision or your ideology of what a good man can be, because faithful, true, honest men will not be at the bar getting drunk at 2 a.m. trying to get in your pants. Real men will be at the gym on their purpose, running a business, making their life better so that they can provide and protect for you, and will treat you as the lady and the woman that God made you to be. They will be chivalrous. They will be unassuming. They will have humility, and they will be the man that you want them to be. And so I want to encourage every one of you, men and women alike, there's hope for you. This is not the end. We're bringing a holistic approach to this scene of dating, masculinity, helping men to be better men, but also for the women out there. We are helping men and women to come back to a standard that is right, that is real, and that is full of hope. Because a lot of the standards in today's society have been poisoned. Modern feminists, I'm not talking about old feminists, I'm talking about modern feminists. There's been a poisoning of modern feminists in today's society that hates men, that wants men to be basically spit on and talked down to. And I want to encourage all of you that are watching this that there's hope for you, and that there is a better way and a better route, and we're helping men to be better men.
And be very careful what circles you're in.
Yes.
If you're going out to the bars, don't expect to find a good guy.
I mean, if you're...
Don't do that. Go out to healthy circles.
You surround yourself with.
Yeah, go out to healthy circles, because there are good men out there. But if you have this preconceived notion that all men are this way, same with men. If you believe all women are this way, you will not find somebody of value. Like, even we all have value in a specific way, but you won't find somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. So you have to not judge the opposite sex and say all are this way, or else you will be alone. So give people a chance. Guys, ask the girl out, be honorable, and you'll be surprised what happens.
Guys, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we're excited about future upcoming episodes. We're going to be doing street interview reactions. We're going to go out on the streets and do reaction videos where we actually talk to people about modern questions surrounding masculinity. What does it mean to be a man? What does dating culture look like? And so we look forward to it, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe this video, and we'll be coming out with videos Monday through Friday.
Peace.
Peace.